How resolved are you? I'm Christy Birchville, and today we are starting a new series and looking at the idea of leadership in challenging circumstances. Now, anybody will tell you that being a leader, trying to lead other people, lead circumstances, that's really challenging all by itself. But when you start adding on difficult circumstances and frustrating above leadership, leading others can be truly daunting. Now, we're going to work our way through the book of Daniel. We'll see a true leader. Daniel didn't sign up for leadership. He wasn't looking for leadership. And he was actually even taken captive and yet ended up in a position of leadership. And God used him in tremendous ways through the king, even though that king wasn't always the best leader and he wasn't always following God and he didn't always give good direction to Daniel. Daniel was trying to lead others while not being led very well by others for himself. We can learn how to be a godly leader, even when you're in the middle of trying circumstances. Now, today we're looking kind of these first few verses of Daniel chapter 1. It's chapter 1, verses 1 through 16. And our key verse is Daniel 1:8. And it says, "But Daniel resolved not to defile himself with the royal food and wine, and he asked the chief official for permission not to defile himself this way." We see today that Daniel and his friends were in a really difficult situation. They were being asked to do something that went against what God had told them to do. Now, these were still young men, and they didn't have their parents around. They didn't have any other leadership, but they recognized that what they were being asked to do was wrong. And they could have really easily just kind of gone with the flow and did whatever just to be easy and make things simple. But they didn't do it. They had their focus on God. And here we see the first principle that we need to understand if we're going to be a godly leader in the midst of chaos and challenge. Daniel was resolved. Now, if we're going to be a leader that doesn't cave to circumstances around them, we have to know what we believe, and we have to be steadfast in our decision to uphold it. Now, that means that even when our leader above us doesn't like it, we hold steadfast. Even when it's not a popular decision, we hold steadfast. But even more than that, we see in this verse that Daniel was resolved, but he asked. He was still polite. He was professional about his decision. He didn't start waving it around and shoving it down people's throats or anything like that. He was polite. He was professional. He was firm, and he was steadfast. We can be firm in our decisions without being a jerk to the people around us. We don't have to belittle people in order to make sure that our point gets across. If we're going to be a leader who stands firm in the midst of difficult circumstances, we have to know what we believe. And we have to make a decision that we're going to stick with it. Then we need to be as polite and professional as possible while still holding firm to the decision that we've made. Question for you today. Are you resolved to follow God no matter what? Even when your leadership or other circumstances are really difficult and challenging. That's where godly leadership starts. It starts by how we lead ourselves. Are we resolved to follow God and Him alone today? Make sure you subscribe so you can join us for this entire series. I will see you tomorrow. Thanks.